Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this month's live chat. I'm Dave Days. I am the instructor in the Brando Accelerator Course, and I'm also instructor in the affiliate marketing course. It's coming out this month. And yeah, welcome to today's live chat where we can go over anything, any questions you guys have as you've been going through the courses, anything about Social Bluebook Pro. My main role with Social Bluebook is an instructor, and I also help oversee the courses. But if you have any other questions about Social Bluebook Pro, any features, happy to answer as best as I can. So yeah, let's wait for some people to jump in, and then we can get on started. What's going on? I see some people joining now. Audio is great. Good to hear. What's up, Amari? How's it going? We had one question in the group that was asking about how do you reach out to someone if you want to be a YouTuber, or if you want a YouTuber or Instagram person to promote your channel or product. So it's kind of the opposite of a brand deal. Instead of a creator reaching out to a brand, it was flipped. It was how does a brand reach out to a creator? Which is a good question, because a lot of you guys in Social Bluebook Pro are most likely creators, but it's also a place, for brands as well to learn a lot, get a lot of information. So yeah, so reaching out to influencers on a brand side, it's a little different because, you're not reaching out to the brand. It's totally flipped. So I totally recommend just sending a DM or sending an email to them, because they have the influence, they have the audience, and you want to hopefully have them promote your product. So reaching out to them DM-wise or email-wise, saying, hey, love your content. Obviously, you want to be very authentic, especially coming from a brand. You don't want to act like you're just using the creator, just trying to do a deal with them so they can promote you, and then, not have it really be a smooth process. Since you're a brand, you want to come off as human as possible. Research their content, look at some examples. And first of all, make sure this influencer is a good fit for your brand. Make sure they have engagement, make sure their audience and your product align. Because you don't want to go to an influencer just because they're popular or because maybe you like them for some reason. You really want to think about that influencer, their audience. Does your product match up with the audience? So you first of all need to do a little bit of research yourself. Maybe have a whole list of influencers. And there are platforms for brands. So I recommend using platforms like FameBit. I have a whole list of different platforms you can... What's up, Connor? I have a whole list of different platforms you can check out. Has all different brand influencer marketing platforms that influencers can use, but also brands can use them too. So if for any reason you did have a product and you were looking to sell direct response type advertisements through influencer marketing, flipped, you can use those platforms as well. And it's actually very interesting, like say FameBit, for example, to even get a perspective from a brand, is to actually create an account as a brand on a platform like FameBit. You can really see what brands see when they look for influencers. I did this, and I didn't even notice, but they actually rate influencers. So you can't see this yourself when you're on FameBit as an influencer, but brands can actually see a star rating. So all the deals you've done, you actually get a rating for that. I did not know that. So it's actually pretty interesting to sign up as a brand on those platforms, just to kind of see how brands view influencers, what they see, because it is drastically different from what influencers see when they look at brands. Yeah, so if you're reaching out to an influencer in the brand's shoes, you definitely want to do your research, check out their content, actually be a fan, talk about some examples, talk about why you like this creator and how you think your product would be perfect to align with their audience. And just say, hey, we'd love to work with you, and then wait for the response. And honestly, if it's a good fit, a good product, and it makes sense, and you wrote a nice personal message, they should respond, at least with their rates. You could even ask, hey, what are your rates to work with? What are your rates for sponsorships? And then just go from there, see if they reach out, and then you can do some negotiating. It's actually funny to think about or working with influencers from the brand's perspective and negotiating. It's really interesting because mainly we talk about how to reach out to brands to then negotiate to get brand deals. So yeah, it was an interesting question I saw in the group which is a very interesting topic. But yeah, we're gonna have some people in here that are influencers, maybe brands as well that just want to learn. So happy to talk about all different topics. I myself, I'm like a creator, YouTuber. I've been making videos for like 10 years now. A little over 10 years now. A lot of it's more music type content, music based. But as I was growing my audience, you know, I started really working with more companies, more kind of sponsorships, some affiliate type deals here and there. And it's been a very interesting journey. Learning the whole brand deal space, learning what goes into it, learning how to negotiate, learning what I'm worth, first of all. Like, it's hard to tell, especially if you don't know, if you're new to creating and you're just starting, it's hard to even know about sponsorships, brand deals. I mean, you see them on TV, like, you know, big athletes getting endorsed by like Sprite or something like that, or like an energy drink company. But with influencers, you know, even if you have a small audience as you're just getting started, you can start getting different brand deals. So it's really cool to be able to log into like Bluebook, for instance. That's actually how I first found out about them, which I'm sure a lot of you guys as well. Just being able to see your valuations has been like huge. Because before that, I would just hear about people getting brand deals, hear about people getting paid, and I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, where do I even begin in terms of like knowing what I'm worth? How do I even reach out? How does it all happen? So having the evaluations is definitely a good step. One of the first steps to at least see what you're worth. And from there, I started learning more and more, whether it was with different managers or networks. That's how it really started for me. I'd work with networks. They would give me brand deals. I kind of saw the inside scoop from there. And then I started just trying to reach out more. I'd reach out to brands and just like I'd start with brands that I would actually work with. Like, for example, I worked with Wix like probably 2 years ago, and it's interesting. All I did was I went to their website, found their contact. They're like a huge company. And I just reached out to them, and I gave a nice message about how, you know, I'm a big fan. Because honestly, the thing is, I've been using Wix websites for like ever now. So I've always like been interested in working with them in the back of my mind. So for me, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to try to reach out to brands, let's try with Wix. So I reached out to them, pretty much said, hey, my name's Dave Days. I've been using Wix websites forever on all my websites. I'd love to represent you guys as an influencer, maybe do some kind of sponsorship. And what you'll realize when you reach out to brands directly, you know, if you DM them or if you email them, a lot of these bigger companies are going to have a lot of different emails. You know, I know with Wix, they had like, I mean, you can imagine like customer service, they had like PR, they had events, they had all kinds of different sections, like investors, all the stuff. So I emailed like the PR one, and then I think the general one. And the cool thing about reaching out to different brands is, you know, these are just people. They're just people too behind these companies. So what they did was they forwarded me to the proper person. They said, hey Dave, thanks for reaching out to us. You know, I forward your email to this person who can help with the brand side of things. So I was like, all right, cool. So then I just waited a little bit, and then they came back and they said, hey, you know, this sounds really cool. What did you have in mind? So the hardest part really, when you're trying to get more brand deals, is really just reaching out. We almost got a full house in here. What's up, everybody? So I noticed the hardest part about brand deals, like, especially with like reaching out directly, really is just like doing your research to find the emails, find their accounts, and then crafting that initial message to then reach out. And for landing brand deals, it really is, especially when you're just reaching out directly, is a numbers game. The more people, the more companies you reach out to, the more they're going to respond, and then a certain amount of them will actually end up working with you. And I got lucky. I reached out to a few brands that I knew were working with influencers, and I think I landed, I only reached out to 4 people at this time. It was like this 1 month. Yeah, 3 of them came back. One of them didn't respond, but 3 of them came back, and all 3 of those were interested in talking about doing a brand deal. And Wix was the first one I reached out to, and I ended up pitching an idea to them. It was more of a dedicated video, like using their platform. Like I mentioned, I've been using Wix for like a while now, so I pitched this idea, and they were like, yeah, we love it. They didn't even hesitate. And because I knew how much I could be charging because of, like, Bluebook, for example, just logging in. I pitched a rate. What I usually like to do when I'm pitching brand deals is I will bundle my platforms together. So I'll say, like, most of us as influencers, we're on, like, YouTube, Instagram, but we also have, like, a Twitter and Facebook. So one strategy I like to use to help get more, but also give more value to the brand, is I'll bundle all of my platforms together. And then instead of charging, like, the one-off rate for each one, all of it added up, I'll add them all up and then give, like, a 20% discount. So that's what I usually do, and honestly, I find that method to work really well. Add all your rates up for all your platforms, give a 20% discount, and say, hey, I can post it on here, 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 and here for this price. Normally I charge this price, but, I can bundle them all together for this price. I found that to work really well. Most brands don't even really negotiate. At that point, they're like, all right, this is probably the best rate we'll get from this influencer. That's why this strategy works so well, because you're already hooking them up with a deal. So I found that to be very effective. And yeah, like with Wix, they didn't even negotiate. They were like, yeah, sounds good. And then we agreed on the video, the pricing, and then I went to work. And they were actually super chill to work with. And I've been seeing them do more and more videos with influencers now. So they're definitely a big player in the space. And that's just one of the companies I reached out to. Reached out to a few others and ended up doing 2 of the deals. But one of them, the third one that I also got, they were interested in working with me. I already had these 2 sponsorships on my plate because I was reaching out and trying to actively get these sponsorships. So I actually turned that one down. I was like, yeah, maybe in the future we can work together. But, I got a lot already booked for now, so I only did these 2. But, there's a lot of power in just reaching out directly. And that's in the Brando Accelerator course, which you guys have access to in the Academy. I've been seeing a lot of you guys signing up, which is awesome. I'd love to know how you guys have been liking the courses. If you have any questions about the courses, we've gotten a few questions in the group already about, some people were asking about, like, resources, where can we find certain resources. Inside each of the courses, aside from all the features when you log into Social Bluebook, there's a lot in there. There's really a lot going on with Social Bluebook Pro, Academy, all that stuff. But yeah, like in the Brando Accelerator, for example, there are different worksheets that come with let me just log in right here. Here it is. There are, like, a lot of different worksheets that go along with the lessons you can follow along with. And the Brando Accelerator, which is the course that I created, there are also, like, databases, like, for example, of the different active influencer marketplaces that you should be logged into, have an account with, and then, that way you can pitch to these different sponsorships. Because just like I mentioned, reaching out directly to brands, it really is a numbers game. Same with these influencer marketplaces. But a quick tip though, because there are so many creators now and they're all on these influencer marketplaces, I do find that reaching out directly, I end up closing more deals by reaching out directly to the brands versus the influencer marketplaces. So that's why I have added in the Brando Accelerator course the module Direct Outreach Deals, where I show you exactly how I was able to do this. I even give you the actual email templates that I've used when reaching out to brands. So if you guys are interested in learning more about how to do these direct outreach deals, you should totally check that out. You should all have access to it in the Academy, in the Brando Accelerator program. But yeah, it's actually a pretty simple process how I do it. First step is you just want to prepare your brands list. So throughout the Brando Accelerator, I go over how you can reach out to brands, how you can research brands' information. And there are actually a few ways to do this. For one, you can just simply go to their website or go to their Instagram profile, and I recommend writing down either their email or their just Instagram account or something like that. I found emails to work best. I have DM'd some brands before, but with email, I think most brands are checking their email still. I don't know how often they're all checking their DMs, I'm sure, as time goes on, more and more of them are prioritizing, like, contact through Instagram DM, Twitter DMs, stuff like that. But email seems to be the best way to get that direct access to these companies. They have people working there that are checking their emails so then they can, relay them properly to the right people. So directly from websites, that's a great way to do it. One way I like to find brands, current paying brands, these companies are by far the best ones to reach out to. The ones that are actively doing sponsorships with influencers already. So this has been one of the biggest ways I've been able to find paying brands. And then when I reach out to them, they actually come back and talk to me because, they know how this business goes. Like if you reach out to a brand that's never done a brand deal before, there might be a few extra steps of you having to educate them, having to kind of like talk about influencer marketing, talk about what it is, how it all works. And then once they're cool with that, then you got to go over your pricing. So it is a little bit of work. It doesn't mean you can't land deals with companies. Say it's a local company you like and you want to do something. Doesn't mean you can't land them. It just means there's a little bit more of education you got to give to them so they understand how to do what brand deals and sponsorships are all about. So to skip that step and find brands that are actually paying is doing a little bit of brand deal hacking. So one example, now because with brand deals, you have to usually disclose, you do have to disclose if it's a brand deal, and most influencers do this by adding hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad, hashtag SP, right? You'll see that on different Instagram posts, YouTube videos, Twitter. Honestly, any sponsored post, you'll usually see that because you do have to have that. Because the FTC has put in place rules that say you have to do that. You have to disclose when you're doing a brand deal. But it works great for this strategy. So what I usually do is I'll go on YouTube and I'll search for those hashtags. I'll type in hashtag sponsored, and then you're going to see a whole list of sponsored videos, right? Influencers that are working with brands that are paying these influencers. And you can even search it by date. So when you go on YouTube, you can type in, I'm just going to type in hashtag sponsored. And then you can filter it. You can say upload date, last hour, today, this week, this month, this year. So you can just do this week, or this month. And right now I see one girl, ASMR, sponsored by, let's see, it looks like a historic anthology review. But right away you start seeing different brands. It was Magic the Gathering. Alright, looks like they're sponsoring some people. What's up, everybody? For those people just joining, how's it going? Feel free to introduce yourself. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm just talking about some strategies right now that I've seen to work really well in terms of getting brand deals. I created the Brando Accelerator Course, which is part of Social Bluebook Academy that you guys have access to when you log into your account in Pro. Yeah, I'm just talking about how a great way to find brands to then lock in deals is to search for hashtags on YouTube and then keep a note of all the brands you see that are currently doing brand deals and make a list of all of them, because we're going to later then reach out to those. So I just typed in hashtag sponsored in YouTube, filtered it for this week, and now I'm seeing a bunch of different sponsored videos. And not all these are like big creators too. So I'm trying to show you that, you don't need to have a huge following to start locking in these different brand deals. So let's see what this one has. This one has a little bigger channel. Well, big channel. They have 800,000 subscribers. Just want to see which brand they're working with. They have 53,000 views on this video 4 days ago. Oh yeah, looks like they're sponsored by Diablo the Game. So gaming is definitely a big one. If you play video games, they definitely sponsor a lot of gaming creators. And also on Twitch, if you log into Social Bluebook and go to your evaluations, you can add your Twitch account, which is pretty cool. So those of you that are streaming on Twitch, you can check out your rates for sponsorships on Twitch. By the way, how many of you guys are also live streaming aside from just like creating? I'm sure there's some of you that, your main thing is live streaming. We're seeing a lot of that. Like a lot of these big gamers now, their main thing is Twitch. and then they'll just put that footage on their YouTube, almost like as a secondary channel. And if you want to search for more specific types of videos doing this hashtag sponsored, you can type in like hashtag sponsored beauty. If you're, a makeup or beauty channel, you can do hashtag sponsored space fitness, for example. And then you'll start to see different, if I just typed in sponsored fitness, and now I can see different fitness videos. So if you make a workout videos or fitness videos, different brands that are sponsoring fitness type content. So this strategy works really great for finding existing paying brands. And in the Brando Accelerator course, I even have a Google Sheet that you can easily open up, make a copy of it, and then you can actually add in these different brands. I have it all laid out for you guys. You can add in the brand, the name of the brand, their contact information, and then that way when we go to reach out to them, you have this whole list of companies that you can reach out to. And this strategy for...
looks like there's a problem.
Uh-oh. Oh, hey, Google, stop. Stop talking, please. Dude, honestly, I never even use my hey, Google. I don't know why that... Oh. The thing is, you can't say...
I don't understand.
The thing is, once you say it, then they start talking. So this strategy also works really great for Instagram as well. You can search hashtags on Instagram. Say you don't make, like, YouTube videos or long-form content. What's up, Sam? What's up, Connor? We got Derek in the group here. He says, I want to be famous. Oh, all right. Hey, Derek, you can be famous, Just keep on creating, man. Keep making vids. Don't stop. Yeah, but if you don't make videos and say you just, do Instagram, you just take pictures on Instagram, more of an Instagram influencer, you can also search for brands this way by going up to your search bar and just typing in, same as we just mentioned, those hashtags, like hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. Some people use hashtag SP. They're trying to be super sneaky. But you can search those hashtags and find brands on Instagram that are currently paying. And same thing what you'd want to do, like we did on YouTube, where we'd find those brands, then find their contact information, and then log it in. You want to then go to those brands' Instagrams, and then copy down either their Instagram or go to their website and find their email directly. Because what you can do is, instead of just reaching out to their email, you can hit up brands on both their email and their Instagram, for instance. You can DM them on Instagram alongside that email, because this will maximize your chances of getting a response. They might have someone on their team working on social who's checking the DMs, right? Responding to people who maybe DM them, or people that comment them. They have someone commenting back. They might have a team member that could see that DM and then send it off to the right person who can take care of that. And then you can talk to someone about locking in potentially a brand deal with them. So it doesn't hurt to shoot an email, definitely an email, and then also DM them. That can help as well to get in contact with the right person. So that is by far one of the best ways to find current paying brands that I've found in terms of reaching out to them, who actually responds, and deals I've closed. It's been with these brands that I've researched who are currently working with influencers. So make sure to log all of those in. Like I mentioned, I have a Google Sheet that you can click on, and then it's in the Brando Accelerator course. If you go to the Social Bluebook Academy section, Brando Accelerator, in the maximizing marketplaces, and throughout the lessons, you can see all the resources that have that sheet in there. And then once we have our brands list, you then want to reach out to them. And the cool thing about this is it sounds intimidating at first, but once you go through the lesson, and I show you the different parts of the email or message you can write out. Once you have that, you can use that as a template. So now that you have this template, you can just research these different brands, contact information, and then you can adjust accordingly for each brand, because they're all different. And the message pretty much has an introduction. You talk about, yourself as a creator, as an influencer, I usually like to start out with something like, hey, I'm Dave Days, I have over this many followers, kind of give like your elevator pitch, really focusing on your audience size, what you do, what you've accomplished. And if you are a newer channel and you don't have a lot right now, you can still say the size of your audience, but say, you've been growing your audience to this amount, you plan on making, really ramping things up, and you have maybe you have a certain project coming out. Just make it sound exciting, make it sound like you're busy, you're working hard, you're trying to grow your audience. Because you don't need to be a big channel to get brand deals. Like when I searched on YouTube, a lot of these channels that had hashtag sponsored, this person only has 4,000 subscribers. This one has 1,000 subscribers. So you're gonna see that you don't need to have a big audience to do all this. Yeah, so you want to have that intro paragraph, and then you want to say, you just want to talk about why you like the brand. Why did you pick this brand? So you want to definitely find brands, research brands that make the most sense for your audience. You can go to like all kinds of different companies and reach out to them. And a lot of them will probably do a deal with you. But the ones that are going to resonate best with your audience are the ones that make sense for you. So for me, for example, I do music. I'm like a music channel. I do a lot of my own music. I sing, I play guitar. And I've done brand deals with companies where some of them, the product didn't really align. Like for example, I did one with this it was like this back brace thing that like helps you like lose weight or something. Totally random, but they reached out to me and they really wanted to do this deal, and the rate was good, and I was like, all right, let's do it. But honestly, I feel like those brands, those kind of situations, you don't see the best result. Like my audience, going into it, I was like, all right, like how many of these people are really gonna want to check this out? And the brand probably thought like, oh, this person has an audience, we're gonna reach out to them and do this deal. But at the end of the day, those results, I don't think were as good as they would have been if I would have done a different deal, which I have done different deals. So that was just one example of one where like, you can do the deal, but does it really make sense for your audience? They might get a little turned off, or for the brand, did they get enough sales? But I've done deals with companies like Gibson. Like I play a lot of guitars. Got a Gibson right here. And, that works really well because a lot of my audience I know are people that like music. A lot of them are like aspiring musicians, people in bands that want to, make better music, grow their audience. So if I talk about a guitar, how I'm working with a guitar company, and you can, buy their guitars here, that resonates a lot more, and you're going to see a better result overall than some company a product that doesn't really make any sense. So you want to keep that in mind too before you start reaching out. Even as you're preparing your list, keep that in mind. But yeah, once you have a good list, you can even start with a few. The ones that are most likely to resonate with your audience, the ones that are companies where your audience is their target customer base, you're probably going to get the most responses, and hopefully they actually talk to you about doing a brand deal. But that's why we reach out to these companies, because some will, some won't. It really is a numbers game. So you want to talk about, in your message, you have your intro there, where you can talk about who you are, some stats you have, all that good stuff. And let me just jump in these questions really quick. Oh, Sam, hello Sam. You said, what's the craziest Brando you've ever worked on? What lessons did you learn from it? Good question. So let me just wrap up with this really quick. So yeah, you want to have your intro paragraph. You then want to have your talk about why you like the brand. Like for me, I've been using Gibson guitars forever. One of my first guitars was a gift I got for Christmas when I was this age. Give a personal story to the brand. That works really well. So stats, personal story, and then say I'd love to work with you guys in some way and promote you to my audience online. Or I love to represent you guys as, a brand ambassador. Something like that can help start the conversation of like, hey, I want to start some type of working relationship with you. And that way they know it's kind of more in the influencer space. Like, a lot of these brands are now doing influencer deals, but some might not. So by saying that, they kind of know where this is headed. And then you want to send that email and say, let me know if you'd love to work together. I can talk about some ideas I have in the works. And then shoot off that message, and that's a really good intro message to at least get them to say hello, start that conversation. All right, let's hop into these questions. I know I was talking a lot about a lot of stuff. It's all good stuff. Thanks for your questions so far. So what's the craziest brand deal you've ever worked on? What lessons did you learn from it? The craziest brand deal. I did this one brand deal where it was a collaboration with a like world record company. I think they were called Record Setter. It wasn't like Guinness Book of World Records, but it was a company very similar. And it was in partnership. It was like in partnership with them and Furby, like Furbies. It was like little creatures that go like yum. Well, it was to set a record with Furby somehow, and we decided to fit as many Furbies as I could in my car. All turned on too, so they were all moving around, you know, whatever Furbies do, yapping, being hungry. I forget how many we put in, but we pretty much covered my like entire front seat and some of the back seat. It was enough to set the world record. I don't know how many people have even tried to do that record, so it wasn't a ton of me to put in, but we definitely put in a lot of Furbies. Like, I don't know how we got all those Furbies, but we put in, I think it was a couple hundred maybe. Maybe it was 100. It was enough to have like a giant pile in my car. And we put all the Furbies in. I had one of the people representing Record Setter, the company that was also, it was Record Setter and Furbies that I was doing the brand deal with. I had someone in the car with me in the back seat. We were just driving around, filming footage, driving around LA. We went through like a drive-through. We went to In-N-Out. Just got a ton of cool footage. And that was like pretty much the brand deal. It was a dedicated video on YouTube. Super fun idea. Kind of in that like prank realm, like almost like Mr. Beast realm, doing something crazy. So my audience, worked well with my audience. They had a fun time watching it. And to blend it more with like myself, because I do a lot of music, I incorporated a song on top of it. I made a little song and I sang about like, it was like, Furby's in my car, Furby's in my car, like some silly song in the background. Just because I do music, I don't want to be totally this random skit prank type thing. So it was a fun video, worked well with my audience. What lessons did I learn from it? I learned if you do a brand deal that doesn't quite resonate with your audience for whatever reason, it's a little different, don't say no right away. If anything, think about how you can incorporate your own style. Like, why do people watch you, right? For me, it was like music. They like the comedy and music that I would do. So I threw in like a little song in there. The montage of us driving around, I sprinkled in the song that I made. So it had that music element. So try to incorporate, your type of content. What you're best at, why people like you. Incorporate that in all your brand deals. Don't just make a video like a straight up commercial and put it on your YouTube or on Instagram or whatever. You want to have your own flavor in there. So it doesn't come off as too like salesy and like you just did this to do it. One other thing I learned was, because I got a set rate and they're expecting a certain view amount, this actually has to do with a different video I did. But it was with a big company. I think it was like, Butterfingers. It's a pretty big campaign with a bunch of big influencers. And one thing I realized is when you're pitching your rates, it can feel scary to like pitch a high rate. If your views fluctuate a bit, it could be a little intimidating to say your rates, right? We have Bluebook's tools, we have all that good stuff, but you want to make sure your views are good and you can hit those marks, especially if you guarantee they're expecting a certain amount of views. So for this one deal we did, it was with Butterfingers. They were expecting a certain amount of views and it was falling like a little bit short. What you can do is, if you have a guarantee and you want to hit those views, obviously you don't want to only do this, but because we wanted to make the brand happy and whatnot, we ended up actually running some ads on it. So we took some of the money that they gave us and put it into some ad spend. which is totally fine, totally normal, you know? It's all real people. We did it through like Google ads. But that's one thing I learned is like, if you do fall short and you want to get an extra boost, you can run some advertising behind it through YouTube, through Google. So it's all, you know, real people, real engagement, you know, they're seeing your ad. So I learned that, you know, you can also do that if you want to just hit those final marks. But definitely don't like do that only. That's never going to work. But we're going to be teaching those strategies as well in some future online courses, how you can just really set yourself up for the ultimate success when working with brands. If, say, for some reason things do fall short, you can do that. So that's one thing I learned. One strategy that I learned from, it was actually a YouTube network that did that. It's a common thing they did when they wanted the extra boost. So interesting fact for influencers out there, something that you can do to help. Just make sure you hit those marks in case you're a little bit under for whatever reason. Some videos do better than others. Some outside forces can come in. They can cause the algorithm to mess up on a certain video. So yeah, Sam, you said, can you post a sample brand outreach email in the Facebook group? Why, yes, I can. That's a good idea. But yeah, the template I have is pretty universal. It works great. It's what I've been using and been getting a lot of responses and closing a lot of deals this way. In the meantime, before I post it, just check out the Brand Deal Accelerator course and the Academy. You can learn all about what I'm talking about. I go over all these topics in there. Well, all right, guys. Cool to see you guys coming out. Good discussions. All right, guys. Well, if you have any extra questions about anything at all, you can post in the group. I'll be monitoring the group as well as the other Social Bluebook members and other instructors. So feel free to ask any more questions. And yeah, thank you so much for coming to this month's live chat, and we will see you in the next one.